Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining me. My name is Miranda Mitchell, and I am a peer support leader with CMHA Oxford. So, what I've chosen to go over with everyone here is the system of self care and the 7 dimensions of self care. Uh, Lately, it seems like we've really needed to tap into our self care practices, and sometimes we run out of ideas and kind of lose motivation on maintaining self care. So, my goal for today is to give you new ideas, give you motivation, and hopefully we can all learn something from these 7 dimensions of self care. So, moving on to our first dimension of self care, with that being physical self care. So, physical self care involves actions that directly relate to our body's state of wealth. So, that means, preparing a healthy meal for ourselves, meal planning. A lot of us get a bit bored of the same things all the time. And especially when we have a busy work schedule, we come home and we just want to quickly whip up a meal. And it may not be the healthiest of meals, or it's easy to just pop over to a drive-through and get some fast food. So meal planning and preparing a healthy meal is definitely important. Doing a yoga class, going to the gym, taking the stairs instead of the elevator. So just encouraging ourselves to make some healthier choices when it comes to our everyday routine. So if I work somewhere that has stairs or an elevator, I'm definitely going to challenge myself every day to take those stairs instead of the elevator to get my heart rate up and um, encourage some healthy activity throughout the day. So another thing I would like to point out before I move on to the next point is that with having to move a lot of our resources to an online setting, we offer a guided meditation every Thursday on our Oxford Self-Help Facebook page. So if you just search up Oxford Self-Help group page on Facebook, you can ask to join the group, and then we will approve you to join the group. And there are a lot of very resourceful links on there for you. We post something every single day, and this is to encourage daily self-care on an online platform. So setting a goal to drink 2 liters of water per day. I'm sure many of you, as you hear me say this, think, oh, I never get enough water in every day. It's something that I struggle with daily. I find that I need to switch up my water sometimes. I'll add some lemon to it, or I'll infuse it with fruit, or I'll get some of the Mio flavor to throw into my water, just because I find I drink more water when I have a selection of flavors. So get creative, but try to get that 2 liters of water in per day. Go to bed early. It's easy to stay up late. I know for myself, I will, look at the clock and see that it's 11:30, approaching midnight, and I have to be up to get ready for work at 6:37 in the morning. So if I can get an extra half hour or an hour of sleep a day, then that really really helps out. I lose many hours of sleep, in a week when I go to bed late. So try to go to bed early. Set an alarm to remind you to go to bed at a certain time if that's a struggle of yours. Take notice of signals from your body. So, if you're sore or you're aching or, headaches, things like that, fatigue, your body is telling you something. So try to really be in tune with your body, listen to what it's telling you, and try to take good care of your body so that whatever it's telling you, is then supported by the decisions that you're making, and it's no longer a stressor on you. And another very random point is, moisturize your skin. Do some physical self-care, with your skin, your hair. Try something different to promote some physical self-care. So, moving on to our next one, mental self care. Our mind is our private terrain of thoughts. I love that saying. Uh, and it probably means many different things to many of us. So, what is mental self care? There are categorized activities that lead to a healthy and positive mental state, ideas that help us think more positively and stimulate inspiring images. So, some ideas of that mental self care is practicing a positive affirmation. I have many positive quotes and images all around me, and I've chosen to surround myself with positive affirmations every day because it keeps my mind on that positive path. Very easily, we can start focusing on negative outcomes, negative possibilities, negative things that are happening in our life right now. But we need to also train our mind to automatically, that easily, go to the positive things in our lives. There are many positive things that we tend to overlook, that we don't take time to appreciate. So practicing those things, and every day it will come easier and easier. Reading a book. My manager has actually given me a book to read, and it has been so incredible. I don't read novels. I find that I get easily distracted, and I just can't get through a novel. So this one here has been so incredible, and I think because I connect with this author on many levels, and it's also hilarious. I love comedy. I love a good laugh. So a funny book about horrible things. It's called Furiously Happy. Definitely read, the blurbs on this book and the reviews, and it's definitely a funny novel, but finding something that speaks to you and reading it. Not every novel or every story is going to be a good one for all of us. We are all different. We are all human, and we all have different ideas of what makes us happy. So find something that speaks to you. Reading was never a thing for me. I can read very well, but it's just how I am when I'm reading a novel. It really needs to speak to me in order for me to stick with it. So it's taken me 28 years to finally find a book that has been incredible to read. So playing brain training games, there are so many apps out there, so many websites that you can visit that have these types of things. I'm sure if you Googled brain training games or looked it up on your smart devices, there will be many things that come up. Reflecting on a specific choice or action. Keep it positive, right? So reflect on those things. Very often we do things that we don't give ourselves credit for, and we need to start doing that for ourselves, because we are our best partner. We are our best sidekick. We are our best mind to really encourage ourselves to continue to do well. We can take advice or compliments from anybody that is important to us, or maybe not important to us, someone that just gives you a compliment. But at the end of the day, it is ourselves that we need to sit with ourselves and remind ourselves of, the good things that we've done, the good things that we continue to do. Find one thing every single day that you can reflect on that was positive, a choice or an action that you have done today. Think about that right now. What is something that I've done today or yesterday that was really good for myself and for maybe someone else or other people? Observing our thoughts and meditation. So again, every Thursday we have a guided meditation on our Facebook page. YouTube has a ton of guided meditation videos. So if that's something that you struggle with, I really struggled with meditation at the beginning. Now it is very easy for me to sit and be with my thoughts and get to a meditative state. So if that's something that you struggle with, definitely look up some resources and it will come to you the more you practice. Challenge yourself to say thank you instead of sorry. I am one to always challenge people when they say sorry when they don't need to. Um, a lot of the times it's easy for us to say, "Oh, sorry to bother, but could I chat with you for a moment?" Don't apologize. It's something that we need to do. And you bump into someone in the hallway and you both say, "Oops, sorry." That's not necessary. So I will always say, "Well, what are you sorry for?" Because then it's going back to the point before this, observing our thoughts or specific actions. Well, why are you sorry? Oh, well, I don't know. Okay, well then that's okay. Continue on and have a good day. So I always I will challenge people when they say sorry, when I feel like they don't need to say sorry, because then it kind of gets them thinking, well, yeah, I guess I didn't need to say sorry. So challenge yourself, really think about you know uh, what you're saying. And one thing that really stuck with me with a colleague here, he has said the word wait, WAIT. And every time I am having a discussion with someone, I always think about, wait, why am I talking? What is the purpose here? What is the purpose of what I'm saying to this person? Or what is the purpose of why am I talking, right? So I always keep that in the back of my mind. I keep it meaningful. I keep it positive as often as I can, right? We're all human. Give yourself a break and take a digital detox. I know it's really tough right now because obviously a lot of things are online right now. They're pressing times, but it's been pretty amazing that we're able to get creative and share things like this. It's going to reach a lot more people digitally than it would, face to face. So that's one positive part of, needing to do certain events that would not be online, in fact, online. So that's great. But when we are, when we find ourselves sitting at home on our computers and on our laptops and on our tablets, cell phones all the time, we need to take a break and we need to, do something to just give ourselves that digital detox. So maybe make a schedule, right? And then also writing and journaling. That's something that's, fantastic. It gets our thoughts and our feelings out on paper or, typed out on our phone or our laptop. So writing and journaling is always great. Another point with our Facebook page is every day we do a daily question and a guided journaling. So keep an eye out for that if that's something that you're interested in trying. Emotional self-care. So emotions are very complex. So some ideas with maintaining our emotional self-care would be to mindfully observe without judgment. That is really, really important. If we are observing things but always judging, it can become so exhausting. So if you're able to detach, from the judgment and just mindfully observe, it really makes a huge difference on how we are feeling emotionally. Use an art form to express your emotions or feelings. So art form, whether that is photography or painting or sketching or creating music. One thing that I've really learned about myself over the last few months is that I feel so incredible when I sing. That is how I express my emotions or feelings. And I've really become quite creative with that art form. So find something that you can really express your emotions or feelings by, whether it is an art form. Mindfully focus on a pleasurable emotion. So if there's, I always talk about nostalgia. An example, I was at my grandparents' house yesterday evening, and we were talking about their closet in the hallway. And I remember that closet as a child. I used to always open that closet. And I asked my grandmother, why did I always open this closet? I don't remember. And she told me, well, because your toy box was in there and you used to always sit on the floor in the closet and play with the toys out of your toy box. So I did that. I actually sat on the floor and I just looked in the closet, and that nostalgic feeling is just so overwhelmingly comforting. So just focus on something that gave you a pleasurable emotion and just be with it. Just mindfully be with that emotion, even for a couple of minutes. Make a list of the things that you are grateful for. And it sometimes can be challenging to make a list of things that we're grateful for. And that's where we need to then become quite simplistic. So I'm grateful that I woke up this morning. I'm grateful that I had running water to have a shower and brush my teeth this morning. Really find those things that, you tend to overlook, those little things, right? It's the little things in life, they always say. So make a list of things that you're grateful for. And if you find that it's challenging, really bring it down to the simple things in life that, we take for granted that we need to be grateful for. Take some time for yourself by being alone, and you can truly distinguish your own emotions compared to those of others. So when you take time for yourself, by yourself, it can be pretty amazing to just really focus on how you're feeling and what those feelings are and where they come from. uh, when we're around other people, we're feeding off of each other's energy. So it's really, it can be a bit clouded to really sit and understand your emotions when you're with other people. So taking that time for yourself, by yourself, can really be very beneficial. Writing in a journal. So that's again something else that we've touched on earlier. But writing in a journal, you really can get down to, you know, your emotions. Sometimes things that we're uncomfortable saying out loud can be easier to write down on a piece of paper. So writing in a journal is fantastic. I always do a small journal entry, I suppose, for myself every night before I go to bed. And it's really just to write down one good thing, even just one good thing that happened from my day. And then I can reflect on those moments. Follow a drama class. So there are so many things that we can do for our emotional self-care. Some work for a lot of people, some work for a few people, but really figuring out what it is that supports our emotions. Intellectual self-care. So our intellect is our capacity for thinking and acquiring knowledge. So some ideas on this can be, learning a new language. That's something that you can download an app. There's an app called Duolingo where you can learn any language that you want to, and it's very interactive, very fun. Doing something for the first time, like a happiness challenge. I've never done a happiness challenge, but is that something I would consider to do? Of course. I love trying new things. And if it's something that I don't enjoy, then at least I've tried it, right? What's the worst that could happen? You don't enjoy it, and then you just don't do it again. So really push yourself to try something for the first time. Watch a documentary. Oh, I love documentaries. Documentaries or docu-series. If you have Netflix, there are a ton to watch. Even YouTube, you can hop online and just search documentary, and there are some amazing stories out there that you can watch and really learn a lot from. Thinking of multiple solutions to a problem. So sometimes when there's a problem, we immediately jump to one solution and one solution only. So if we take the time to sit and look at the problem and almost do a map of, optional solutions, and then really just studying the problem and the solutions and figuring out what the best route would be. And then learning to play a musical instrument. Music is so incredible for many different things. It's so incredibly therapeutic, whether we learn to play a musical instrument or we just sit and listen to music and listen to the instruments that are playing and study the lyrics and figure out the story that they're trying to share within that song is so incredible. So whether you learn to play a musical instrument or you just sit with music and listen to the stories, it could be so incredible. And you really learn a lot about certain artists and bands and composers. So spiritual self-care, similar to the mind, spirituality can be defined in many ways, and therefore there are numerous activities that you can do to improve your spiritual health. So not all of us are going to look at this and say, oh my goodness, I need to focus on my spiritual self-care more than anything. Again, this is for all walks of life. And so moving over to that, here are some ideas. So spiritual self-care ideas, prayer and meditation, attending services with like-minded others. So there are many churches out there, and you know, they all really focus on different things. So figuring out what there is within our community and giving it a try, right? Try it once. And if it's not for you, then you don't have to go back, but there's no harm in trying. Going on a spiritual retreat, clarifying your values and priorities, initiating or joining meaningful discussions with others with respect towards each other, finding ways to contribute to the well-being of others. That is so rewarding in itself. Having respect for other people's spiritual values and letting them voice their spiritual values. Reading literature like the attached soul-touching quotes from the mystic and philosopher Rumi. So I will attach some resources to this as well. When you do things from your soul, you feel a river of joy within you. So this quote here really spoke to me, and it means a lot in many different ways. So social self-care, geez, being social is so important. There are many ways to be social. So every time I see my partner, close friends, or a total stranger sending me a genuine smile, that makes me happy. Happy in a way that is different than other things that make me happy. Why? Because it's not just me in the equation. It involves another being. It's another life merging with yours. And that is so powerful. And it means a lot because we're now at that point, and I've mentioned it earlier, we feed off of each other's energy. So if we're able to pass on a smile to a complete stranger or to a friend or or a partner or anyone around us, that is a big action that affects more than just yourself, right? It affects the people around you. So some social self-care ideas, doing volunteer work, that is so incredibly rewarding. If you're looking to do volunteer work, I'm sure the agencies that are contributing to this event probably have a lot of resources on how you can do some volunteer work within the community. Give someone a compliment. Every single day I try to give at least one person a compliment because when I do that, then I always get a smile in return, and with that smile, it makes us all happy. Joining a club, playing a game with someone, having a meaningful conversation, being a listener. I love being a listener. I'm a very good listener. So anyone out there who wants to sit and chat, and if you're just looking for a listener, I am here always. Having a family or friends over for dinner. I absolutely love having small family or friend gatherings and having nice dinners and catching up with a relative through social media. So it seems like this has been, again, something that we're doing a lot of, catching up with people through social media, or even if you're able to catch up with someone over a coffee in the park or anywhere out in the community. Practical self-care. So some things we do are not necessarily fun or directly related to an action of self-care, but they can be. When this awareness shifts, we can make a whole lot lighter for ourselves. Sorry, we can make things a whole lot lighter for ourselves. It's shifting your mindset and really seeing things from a different lens. So, practical self-care ideas: changing your bed linens. That in itself is so amazing. There is nothing like crawling into bed after you've just freshly washed and dried them, and you just feel those linens hug you and they smell beautiful. There's no other feeling than when you change those bed linens and go to bed to a nice freshly made bed. Doing your groceries. My favorite type of shopping is, aside from online shopping, is grocery shopping. I love grocery shopping. A lot of people don't, but I sure do. So doing your groceries, it makes you feel more organized and prepared to take on, the day or the week, right? And it's also going to support you for your physical self-care practices, which would then be, your meal planning and coming up with healthy meals, things like that. So here we go. Your practical self-care is now trickling down to your physical self-care and really every other category as well. Simplify your to-do list. Don't give yourself a massive to-do list and feel like you need to get through it by the end of the day. If you can really simplify that list and cross one or two of them off, then you've accomplished something for the day. So simplify things for yourself. Donate stuff that you no longer use. I tend to go through things often and I think to myself, well, if I haven't used it within the last month or, few months, do I really need it? And donating that stuff will go to someone who really does need it. So if you do donate stuff that you no longer use, give yourself some credit, because it is going to someone who is really going to appreciate and get great use out of those things. So I'm going to attach a link for some inspiration on cutting down on stuff. 20 plus thoughts to think like a minimalist does. So if you're looking for some motivation on that, I will have that as well posted to this presentation. So today is the day for a self-care challenge. I will add some resources to this presentation, but I'm going to ask you to, challenge yourself. Take something from this presentation that maybe spoke to you and challenge yourself to practice some self-care today. So I would like to thank you all for being with me during this presentation. Thank you for allowing me to really bring this information to you. And if you do have any questions, I will also post form of contact. And I hope you enjoy all of the content that is shared in the days to come. And be kind to yourselves and be kind to each other. And take care, everyone. Thank you so much.